Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from. Salutations, much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. Now, this lesson is going to be entitled, Are Filipinos Israelites? Now, we're going to get into this lesson. And my answer is this. I personally believe the majority of Filipinos are Israelites. That's my personal belief, from examination. And when I say they're Israelites, that means they're one of our people. Okay, regardless of how they look, they have like an Asian type look to them, but that's because of the mixing, which the seed is never changed, right? A man can sleep with whatever woman he wants to sleep with, and it doesn't matter because that seed is still the seed of an Israelite if that man is an Israelite. Okay, but if that man is a heathen, then that's a heathen seed no matter if he sleeps with an Israelite woman or not. Okay, so this is based upon this video that this woman did, because she's going hard against the so-called black woman, because they're coming up against her. They're just looking to say the most hurtful things possible. That's what the so-called black woman is good at. If your mother just died and she get into an argument with you, she'll say something. Oh, that's why your mother died, and yeah, they say those type of things. So they're basically going hard body against her, and she's going hard body against them, and basically she's basically encouraging so-called black men to date Filipino women and encouraging Filipino women to date so-called black men, So I'm going to play this video and then I'm going to get some scriptures, okay? Oh, excuse me. Let's click on this.
Why you act like a black woman, everyone wants to imitate them. Well, let me give you a Philippine lesson, my friend. We Filipinos have black African blood. That is correct. And that's why many of us Filipinos have curly hair, have dark skin, have big nose trail like mine, and big lips like mine. And if you see that I have a black woman attitude, that means I have a black African blood. And therefore, that makes me a black woman. And since I am a Bisaya girl, that means I have a strong black African blood. And we Bisaya people, especially the girls, we have very strong African blood. Okay, so now you know we are sister, even if you deny it.
So that's it. Okay, so that's it. She said it, and what she said shows that she has more knowledge in that aspect than a lot of you Israelite groups. She's more spiritual in that aspect than a lot of you Israelite groups. You can't get past the concept of someone's look not being the ending factor of who they are. This is Jeremiah 12:9. It says, "My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird." Right? What's a speckled bird? A bird with multicolors, man. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour. The birds that are round about and against her are these other nations. They're against us. Okay? Regardless of where we come from, it's a spiritual thing. All right? When you go to Deuteronomy, let's go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter and the 64th verse. It reads, "And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people." Okay, what does all people mean? That means all different nations, man. "From the one end of the earth even unto the other." Is not the Philippines on the end of the earth compared to North America? Of course. Okay. "And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." And you're going to serve their gods. You're going to eat their foods. You're going to talk the way they talk. You're going to walk the way they walk. You're going to assimilate into whatever heathen you're surrounded by. Okay. It says, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease. So guess what? No matter where the Israelites go, no matter how they look, spiritually, they can find no ease. Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. So this is what they've got. No matter what, no matter where they go, no matter where Israel goes, no matter how they look, even if they look like Edomites, even if they look like so-called white people. I've heard that before, that a Jake that looks like an Edomite, he'll say, yeah, I can never get along with Edomites. Edomites never like me. And Ray. See, we wouldn't understand that because we're not around Edomites 24. We didn't have Edomite family members like that, the majority of us, right? So we don't know what that's like. We were around Jake, but you got certain Jakes that grew up around that look like Edomites, that grew up around Edomites, that said they would never accept him. Okay? Why? Because his spirit, it's a spirit. This is what you have to understand. This thing, the life that we're living right now is a big movie, but it's a spiritual movie, man. That's controlled by the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. Let me read that again. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. And that's why these certain Jakes that are amongst these other nations, though, most of their friends will be Jakes. And even if they're not, even if they look like Edomites, they're Israelites that look like Edomites for the most part, or other nations for the most part. Okay, not just Edomites, but Moabites and so on and so forth. Now, dealing with the Filipinos, what I've noticed over the years is they're not accepted by the other Asian community. They don't accept them. Okay, they look at them as outcasts, right? Because they're different. They're spiritually, like I said, the majority of them, in my opinion, are Israelites. Okay. It says, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life. All right, so that's the point on that. Okay, and another thing, what was I gonna say about that? Right, I don't know if it's 50%. I don't know if it's 51%, 60%. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. I believe that the majority are Israelites. Let's get Let's get Isaiah. Let's get Isaiah 11 and 11. Okay, this is Isaiah 11 and 11. And it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people. So when was the first time that the Lord recovered the remnant of his people? In the land of Egypt. Okay, but now it's going to be a different gathering. We're not just gathering out of the land of Egypt. We're gathering out of all nations in the earth. The Lord is going to gather all his people together from wherever they may be and however they may look, because the Lord sees through the Spirit. It says, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar. These are all Edom, these are all heathen nations, man. And from Hamath and from the islands of the sea, right? Elam is who? The so-called East Indians, so-called Persians, Pakistanis, Sri Lankans, so on and so forth, which you have a lot of Israelites, a lot of Sri Lankan Israelites. Okay. There's concentrations of place where Jake is more predominant than others. You know what I'm saying? And it says, and from the islands of the sea, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah. What does it mean to be dispersed? That means to be scattered, meaning we're scattered amongst all these other places from the four corners of the earth. Okay, and that means everywhere in the earth. Okay, jungle in East Africa, you got Israelites there. Okay, look at the ghetto kids from Uganda. Those are Israelites, man. Come on, bro. Look at how they're dancing. It says the envy of also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. but they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines towards the west. They shall spoil them from the east together, right? That all the Israelites going to come together, and we're going to spoil these other nations, right? Under Yahweh Shai. It says they shall lay their hand upon Edom. Who's Edom? The so-called white people. Edom is our top enemy, man. And Moab. And there we go. Who's Moab? The so-called Chinese, man. Okay. And the children of Ammon shall obey them. This is going to happen for all the Israelites, man. All right. See, the sign is important. The sign is a guideline, right? But it's not the end all be all. In other words, you have Israelites that are not on the sign, right? Like we don't have Nigerians on the sign, but those are Israelites. Okay, we came from the West Coast, man. Okay, so they don't have to be on the sign. Once you understand what this truth is about, then you understand that this is a guideline, but ultimately it's a spiritual thing. Let's get Romans 8. This is Romans 8 and verse. Matter of fact, I feel like reading down from 6 all the way down, but I'll read 6 real quick. It says, I'll start at verse 5. It says, for they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. And we here at Great Millstone are spiritually minded men. We can see through somebody's spirit to determine whether they're Israelite or not. Okay? We do a spiritual analysis on the individual. We don't just necessarily say that because they look a certain way, they got to be that. No, listen, man. Israelites are going to come looking like so many different nations, especially in these last days, man. Because the carnal mind is enmity, right? So if you have that carnal mindset, nope, you come from there. Nope, you come from where? You come from Africa. No, you're a Hamite. You're a Hamite. That's an old 1991 Israelite spirit, man. That's like the old, what the elders and apostles tell us about. That's a real old, outdated spirit. The spirit has grown from that, man. You have to understand that. If you're still teaching that Cornelius is an Israelite, the spirit is an Edomite, the spirit has grown from that. All right? Cornelius was an Israelite that just happened to be of the Italian band. Okay? It says, because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please the Most High. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit, if so be that the Spirit of the Most High dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the Spirit of Hamashiach, he is none of his. Let's jump down to 16 to the point, okay? It says, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. See, if the Spirit compels you to say, you're connecting with this book, you're connecting with these words, and you believe you're an Israelite, okay, through the Spirit, you believe that you're connected to us, then chances are you are. It's like I said, it's a spiritual thing. See, because Esau knows he's not connected to us. Moab knows they're not connected. Elam knows they're not connected. You understand? And they can feel it in the spirit, And if children, then heirs of the Most High, and joint heirs with Hamashiach, because the Israelites are going to be in a rulership position under the Lord in the kingdom. Okay? If so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. All right? So you have to get out of that old mentality, man. And like she said, she got them, let me see if I can play it again. Well, she got them big. See this woman, see this so-called black woman, she got big lips. Well, she got big lips too. She was going into her features. And I'll tell you this, man, the Filipinos are the best looking Asian type woman there is on the earth. Okay? I'll just say that the majority of Filipino women look good, man. I'll say that, man. The majority of them that I see, they look good, man. She don't even have a lot of makeup on, man. She don't even be putting on too much makeup from what it looks like. You know, and they don't have the culture, the mindset of the American or Caribbean or the so-called black woman on this side. No, they don't. They don't have the same mindset. Their mindset is that of more feminine, of more women-like. So guess what? You deal with a woman like this, you'll have more ease in your life than if you deal with this woman. Guaranteed, man. Guaranteed. But you do what you want to do, man. You see what I'm saying? Every brother can make his own choice, man. This is a history of Spanish slavery in the Philippines, and this is why the Filipinos, what do they have? They have Spanish last names. Okay, they have Spanish last names. All right. Pacquiao, Manny Pacquiao. That's Spanish. Okay. That's not Asian. It's not Mandarin. That's not, you know what I'm saying? That's Spanish right there. Why? Because they were slaves under the Spanish. Okay, and they had a classification of people known as the Negritos. Okay, and let's look at that, and let's take a look and see if we can find some images of Filipino Negritos. All right, look at that, afros, man. Look at that, afros. Look at that, this is Negros. Okay, they got Negro type features, man. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? This is not a typical Asian looking individual. Okay? You know, and there's other mixes in there, you know what I'm saying? It mixed with other things or whatever, but at the end of the day, and all of these are not Filipinos, I don't think, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, they're mixed with they got those Jake features, you know, which Esau loves to get the pictures of Jake with no shirt on, and the woman, the breast out, you know. And a lot of times Esau forced them to be walk around like that. I mean, come on, man. Because when you look at that's just speculation, because I'm saying this because you look at Gad, the so-called Native Americans, they had a culture with long garbs and things of that nature, but Esau always shows them like this. The so-called Native Americans, they always show them with their shirt off, you know, with like a loincloth on, you know. You know, but anyways, you see the point, man. You see the point. Okay, so Jake will come looking, and then when you go down to descendants, they're gonna come looking different. They're gonna come looking different, man. And there's a book on it, on the slave trade that happened in the Philippines as well. And I believe there's a lot of Filipinos that went to Mexico, which they call them Chinos, and that's why you see a lot of them Issacharites. They look like so-called Issacharites, because we don't know what tribe they go back to. They look like so-called Asian, man. Because you had them Chinos that were sent there in slavery as well. You know what I'm saying? Right. So let's get let's get Revelation 7 and verse 9. This is Revelation 7 and 9. And it reads, excuse me. And when it goes into the sealing of the 144,000 out of each tribe, it then goes to Revelation 7 and 9. It says, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes. What does the color white represent? Purity. Showing you this is not speaking about other nations. The only nation that's pure or sanctified are the Israelites. So you get the word saints from. And palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying, salvation to our power. Who's the Yahweh, the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, the power of the Israelites. So this is Israelites that are coming out of all these different nations, looking like these different nations, which sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb. Okay? So this is what's getting ready to happen, man. There's going to be a joining of the Israelites from all around the earth. Now let's get Isaiah 14 real quick. And we'll start at verse 1. You know, it says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. Who's going to set us in our own land? Not a Balfour Declaration, not the British. Okay, it's going to be the Heavenly Father himself, and everyone's going to know it was him. And the strangers shall be joined with them. Who are the strangers? That great multitude I just read about, which are Israelites out of all these different nations. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. What does it mean they're going to cleave? That means they're going to be joined with their brethren. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. Right? And the house of Israel, include all these people, the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors, starting with the Edomites and the rest of these other nations. Okay? So, I mean, that's the point on that. It doesn't have to be too long. This didn't have to be a long lesson. I just kind of wanted to touch that, man. You know? But this is Amos 9:9 to end it off. It says, for lo, I will command, and also I will also sift the house of Israel among all nations. Like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. So guess what? All nations, you have Israelites amongst them. Okay. And like I said, the seed is what determines who you are, not the look, the seed. Okay. Which comes from the Father. Okay. So anyways, man, this was a good video. So I just thought I'd use it for some edification. With that, I'll say shalom.